Alright, so we've got the layout ready, and we're using color to eliminate noise and focus the user's attention. But there's one final dashboard design tip that we can leverage here, and it's to try to tell a story. Now I'm actually going to leave the main title as it is, but I think that we can turn our industry selector into a secondary title of sorts. So instead of simply acting as a drop-down, we can try to have it pose a question instead. I'm going to change this to how did, remove the italics, and center this. So how did New York perform? Let's make this bigger. And center that as well. And you'll notice that our cells here moved. So let's just try to bring these back. And that looks pretty good. So if we look back to our question, now we're asking how did New York perform, how did Los Angeles perform, and how did Chicago perform. But we can actually add an additional piece of context here, and that's the period. Because right now, apart from this marker here, we actually have no way of knowing that we're looking at data from July 2021. Let's jump back into the Data Prep tab and try to put the current period together in plain English. So I'm going to add a current period filter. And we're going to calculate it using a little helper table. So this is going to be the month number, and this is just going to be the month. And we're going to do the numbers from 1 to 12 here. And here I'm going to write the actual month name. And if I just write the first one, I can drag it down and you'll see that Excel will automatically autofill the rest for me. Let me just make these bold and light blue. And now I can use this to look up the current period. So the lookup, I want to find the current month in this table here, and grab the month in the second column over with an exact match. So that's going to give me July. And now I just need to concatenate with an ampersand. I can add a space afterwards, and then using another ampersand, I can add the current year. Press OK, and now we get July 2021. Let's bring that in here now. So how did Chicago perform? Let's remove the question mark and add in. So how did Chicago perform in? And then let's just bring in our period. So July 2021. And again, I'm going to concatenate a question mark here between quotation marks. Make this bold, bigger, and blue. Oops. And once again, let's just bring our table back. And there we go. So how did Chicago perform in July 2020? How did New York perform in July 2020? So now we're drawing the user in, and what we can do is use the title for each visual to tell a story that answers that question. So instead of just total revenue, I'm going to left align this, and we can say something like, this was the revenue we drove in. I'm going to remove the bold and just make the word revenue bold and make it dark blue so that the user can associate this with the revenue KPI. And we can change this to something more intuitive like versus last month and versus last year. And then we can use these ellipses to drive the user to our next chart. So this is going to be, and the revenue trend in 2021 versus 2020. Let's resize this. Again, left align. And here's the cool part. we can use these, make them bold, and use the color to act as a legend for the chart. So that 2021 is going to be blue, 2020 is going to be gray, and then we can just delete the legend altogether. So we're telling this story. Now let's expand on it. This is how our stores rank compared to other regions. And we can use the same trick to highlight that the blue bars represent the stores for the selected region, and that the gray bars represent these stores from other regions. Let's move this a little bit to the left. And finally, where these products drove growth, and the main point here is that these are the growth drivers. So make this bold, let's make it green, and these products caused losses. Make these bold and red. And now let's take another look at our dashboard. So if I'm the regional manager for Chicago and I'm pulling this up, all I need to do is select my region and then literally just read the dashboard in the exact way that it's presented to me, and I'm getting all the insights I need with close to no friction, which basically means that our dashboard is ready to be rolled out.